man, my hair is ridiculous. Oh, look at this oh, my fringe is ridiculous today. It's lucky I have a mirror like right here. That'll do. So hey guys, after a kind of unscheduled break last week, we're back. It's back. More collab channel videos all the time. And if you don't make a video, I will come to your house and smack you. Right, so the theme this week is favourite book and author, which is actually a really hard question because Captain is mean and oh, my fringe is really pissing me off. So favourite book, that's an impossible question to answer because I like a lot of books. I read a lot. I've always read a lot. It's kind of been a massive part of my life since I could read, and I can't pick a favourite book. Well, let's try. I guess I really like his Dark Materials, the series by Philip Pullman. I mean, that's a series, so it's kind of cheating, but I mean, that's a good book. That's a good book. A series of books. They're good. I like them. When I was a kid, I really liked Tamara Pierce. Tamara Pierce is good. You know why? Because she writes good female characters in that they're just normal human beings, and she writes good male characters in that they're just normal human beings. And I like that in a book. But those are all children's books. What's an adult book that I like? I really like The Name of the there's two books. There's The Shadow of the Wind and The Name of the Wind, and they're both good, but they're very different. The Name of the Wind is good, and that's an epic fantasy book. I read the second one, which just came out recently this year, and it's good. But The Shadow of the Wind, I think that's the one. It's like this the thriller fantasy type book. It's not really fantasy, it's mostly thriller, and it's about this library of hidden books. I don't even know if that's the correct title, but something like that, and that's a really good book. What else do I like? What else? I really like that book, the autobiography called Unbearable Lightness by Portia de Rossi. That's Ellen DeGeneres' wife, if you don't know who that is. Anyway, the autobiography is really, really good, and I didn't expect it to be, but it's really well written, and I really enjoyed it. That's a book I read recently. I mean, what else? I like Lord of the Rings a lot, but I don't know if I would say it's my favourite book. What's some non-fantasy books? I haven't really read much non-fantasy recently. Have you read the book Horseradish by Lemony Snicket? Hilarious. I mean, I love Lemony Snicket, but the series Unfortunate Events got kind of tired after a while, whereas Horseradish is just like this book with a series of... It's kind of making fun of those books that have, you know, phrases to make you feel better. It's the opposite, you know, you will die kind of stuff, except more intelligent. Let's go at this a different angle. Books I don't really like. I don't like The Hunger Games. Yeah, I thought they were really disappointing. I think it's probably because I read them at the wrong time in my life. I think if I'd read them when I was 12, I would have really liked them, but now when I read them, I mean, first of all, they're not written that well, and second of all, I just feel like the plot's a little contrived, and I thought the characters weren't very well developed, with the exception of Katniss, and even Katniss was kind of a bit of a, not a Mary Sue, but she was, I mean, she was exceptionally badass, but I kind of had a tough time connecting to her, and that's frustrating when the rest of the characters feel pretty two-dimensional. But that said, it's not a bad book, it's just, I think it's a little uncomplicated for my tastes now. Like, I can still enjoy Harry Potter even though it's, I mean, the first books, even though it's not particularly overly complicated, because I love them so much at the right time in my life, but you know, because I didn't read The Hunger Games. I'm gonna say something that's really controversial now. I'm not a really big fan of the Game of Thrones books. I'm always, well, I generally always like books better than their television or movie adaptations, but I read Game of Thrones before I watched it, and then I read the second book after I watched the first season, and it just, I enjoyed it much more as a television show. I mean, it's a lot of really interesting stuff, but it just feels like a lot of description. I don't know, maybe I didn't give the books enough of a chance, but I didn't, they're not bad books, I just vastly preferred the television show, I think. I think because the television show covers, if a television show can feel like it's covering everything in the books, the book isn't good enough, maybe, or something like that. I don't know, they're not bad books, I just, I like a lot of books. I don't just like fantasy, this is just what kind of pops to my head automatically. So yeah, I guess I'll leave that there. Hope you guys all post videos this week, or like I said, some kind of horrible punishment will be coming your way. Maybe we'll make you like read 50 Shades of Grey on camera, which is horrible, by the way. I mean, if you want to talk about bad writing, whoa, whoa.